For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashton Trimble, and I'm the Director of Library Services at Blackhawk College. And the Conference Planning Committee really just wanted to put some time in today's schedule for us to have some informal conversations, because that was the thing that we were really most disappointed that we were going to miss out on by having this conference virtually again this year. So this is a really informal time for us to talk about the DEI work that's happening at our institutions. I know we've been a really quiet group so far today, so I hope that you guys will join in the conversation. I have some prompts. I'm going to warn you that if it gets really quiet, I get nervous and just start talking. So I hope that you guys can unmute your mics, turn on your cameras if you're willing, put your comments in the chat so we can have just kind of a conversation and get to know each other and learn about the work that's happening in our institutions, because we know that there's a lot of really great stuff going on, and we know that not everyone has the bandwidth to do a full presentation right now. So we are so grateful to our presenters who have volunteered their time today. But let's just pretend we're all like eating lunch and at a conference. I wish we could have sent everyone a catered meal and get to know what's going on. So if anyone would like to start off the conversation to talk about the work that's happening, something that they're really excited about, any experiences that you'd like to share, I would be 100% grateful for whoever would like to start the conversation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kirk L. Rhodes. I'm at Wren Lake College in beautiful Ina, Illinois. That's in Southern Illinois, for you folks that are not familiar with that. So my role here at the school, I am the Learning Enhancement and Career Technical Education Success Terms Coordinator. So I do a whole lot of stuff. But one of the things that I like that we are doing, I just got here last year, is the school is really committed to being inclusive. And we created some stickers. I don't know if you could see these, but this is just, the rainbow colors that denote this is safe for the LGBTQ plus community. I think that's important. I know as a passionate college administrator, heavily interfaced with the students, I know that population honestly catches hell, and I want them to feel comfortable, at least comfortable talking to me if they wish. And I think this is a very progressive and necessary step, as we are a public institution.
Thank you, Dr. Rhodes. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share about what's going on at their institution?
Hi, my name is Ellen. I'm at Illinois Valley Community College. And are you able to hear me okay? I'm using my headset. I am a member on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and it's really been kind of a grassroots effort. We're always interested in what other colleges are doing to gain kind of top-down support. We don't really have an office or in any people in leadership positions that are responsible for promoting DEI, and so I'm just kind of open to hearing people's experiences, journey, and how to get that kind of top-down support.
What do you mean? please excuse my ignorance. What do you mean by top-down support? Please just tell me like I eat crayons.
Well, I mean, we don't have any kind of formal office or position that is responsible for any kind of DEI initiatives. We don't really have like a statement or policy or website that explains to the public what our stance is, or what we're about. As a committee, we basically just talk about how we would like to promote DEI on campus, and then we form work groups, and then we make recommendations to the leadership council when we want to see something, where we see something where we want to affect change. But I don't think there's anything in particular in the strategic plan that addresses that. So we've heard other colleges have kind of had a similar experience where they had people working in groups and committees, and then it kind of trickles up instead of the other way around.
I can tell you at Blackhawk, we had a new position created summer of 2020 called the Multicultural and Inclusion Coordinator. So that is, so it's one person, it's an office, department of one, and brand new position on campus. So she's still kind of finding her footing. The office is doing amazing work with us. They've they lead a student club, and the students are doing really great work, planning lots of activities for their club and inviting other students on campus. I'm hoping that there's more. We don't really have anything in committee structure or anything for staff to do that work too. I mean, we've got HR thinking of recruitment and retention, and we've got our core values and our strategic plan that mention it, but like no one really owns moving those forward. So that's what I'd like to see happen more at our institution.
Well, at Renlake College, we have a dedicated DEI administrator, but at the same time, we try to integrate the initiatives throughout. We have a planning committee throughout the college, and we also have a student club, because all of it needs to be integrated for it to be successful. So I think baby steps, anything that you could do to promote that is always great. I know that I appreciate being in an environment where I don't have to rely on the old adage, my presence is my protest. It's more than just having some Black guy or some woman or some member of the LGBTQ plus community on board. We need to be purposeful with the things we're doing. So every college is in a different state of readiness according, along these lines. So.
I did include a link in the chat. I know that we have lots of people who are not from the library side of the house here, so I thought I'd share a resource that the American Library Association put out last summer. It's their DEI scorecard for library and information organizations. And I really liked it because it operates more from an organizational management perspective. So like you can strike out library in this rubric that they created and put almost any department in higher ed in there. And it just makes you think like as a supervisor and someone who's trying to move not just the college forward, but my department and those units within my department forward, thinking about, some other aspects that sometimes get left behind, like, can DEI really be a priority if I don't put it in my department's budget, if I don't set money aside for that work? So that's something that I'm trying to work on for my departments, because that's one thing that we have at least a little bit of control over these days, rather than the whole institution. So I thought I'd share that librarian resource with the group.
Thank you. I love rubrics.
Reach into the choir. All right, I'm going to try to ask some other questions, some different ways to see if we can maybe convince some other people to jump in this conversation as well. Let's see. So instead of looking at the institutional level within your unit or department, what DEI initiatives are underway?
I can share.
Please.
So I'm actually this is my third month in my college, and I am a new position. So in our department we work. It's basically the distance learning department, but I was hired to take care of the accessibility part of the. I would say this goes under diversity, equity as well, how to make the learning accessible to everyone in the college or all the students in the college. So this is my share of the department. I don't know if, I know that start to get very common in so many colleges that they start to hire new position just to help with the accessibility part and make sure that whatever class the instructor is teaching, if they have one student with disability, they will be able to get the same experience as other students.
Excellent, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sonia Workman, and I'm going to come at this from a bit of a different perspective. I work full-time for Chestnut Health Systems, which is a behavioral health organization, and we implement DEI through all of our policies and protocols. We have a DEI officer. We host workshops. We collaborate with partners in the community. And in particular, we partner with Heartland Community College. I'm also a part-time employee of Heartland as an adjunct professor, and we've partnered to be inclusive in a peer program. So we have implemented courses, college level credit courses, to aid those with lived experience, to work towards becoming certified with the state of Illinois. And so this is a very large movement within the state of Illinois, and just happy that Chestnut and Heartland can partner together on these efforts.
What is the certification?
Recovery support specialist. It goes by different names according to where you're located in the state of Illinois, and they're throughout, the United States. But in particular, they would go through what we call IODAPCA to become certified, and mostly referenced as a CRSS, a Certified Recovery Support Specialist. You'll hear them also known as peer specialist or recovery navigators. It all is the same lingo. They're hired, and it's a workforce development to integrate those who may not have a bachelor's or even an associate's degree, but we know that their lived experience is of value, and they can come to the table and support others through their lived experience.
Is there a website or a link that kind of explains that program? That would be, it looks like ECC is also offering that.
Okay, and ECC, I'm sorry, stands for?
Oh, Elgin Community College, it looks like is offering the same program.
Okay. I know if, let me see if I can pull up a link through Heartland, but Heartland, it is on their main website. And I will pull a direct link up and drop it into the chat box.
Anyone else have any examples they'd like to share about what's going on at their department or unit level? It seems small, but we finally got around in our library to update our collection development policy. It's something we try to do every other year. And we fell out of the habit in the chaos that was spring of 2020. So we circled back to that. And we had some library staff that put together a DEI statement in our library's collection development policy. So we made it very clear that we are intentionally looking at or looking for resources to add in our collection that come from a wide variety of sources and traditionally underrepresented voices in our collection. So that it seems small. It's something that I think all of us had been trying to do in the past, but it felt really good to make that very clear in our collection development policy, and really motivated the rest of our team to take those considerations to heart when we were adding new resources to our collection.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. I'm full of cliches today, so.
And I'm trying to dig through my emails because Angelina Mowbray from
Wren Lake.
She's on our planning committee, and she had this amazing opportunity to take a vacation to Europe this week. So she sent me in some examples, and I'm trying to figure out where I saved them on my desktop right now. So it looks like the Wren Lake College Library is planning to host a human library event that will help break down stereotypes for students, faculty, staff, and the community. So it's kind of I don't know if you're in the library world on Facebook, you've seen it, but a human library is kind of when you get to check out a person and have a conversation with someone, and it sounds really cool.
Ooh, can I kind of in for a second?
Mhm.
Who is heading that up? Because we've been wanting to do one at Sandburg, and everyone I reached out to who had already done one kind of at academic libraries in the state never really followed up with me when I sent questions out. So if I could get in contact with somebody at Wren Lake who's doing that, that would be awesome.
Yes, so that's Angelina.
Sweet.
So I can send you her contact information, Rebecca. I think St. Ambrose in Davenport, Iowa has done that several times too.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We just had a budgeting meeting about this to allocate, make sure we have the funds available to do that. So that's, and this was at, this was with one of our vice presidents. So I mean, we're all in as far as that goes. And Angelina Mayberry is one of my colleagues, and she is an outstanding resource in this regard.
That's exciting. Thank you. I get that's a good segue into something that we're kind of doing institutional wide at Sandberg. So we've had a focus lately on kind of switching our faculty workshops over to doing sessions that really go towards pedagogy. So we haven't done that as much in the past because we've been so more like technical skills based. And so what's come of that is really learning how to, teach students on the spectrum, students with disabilities, how to interact with trans students, because that's becoming more normalized, but yet there haven't been updated sort of instructions or practice around interacting with them, I guess. Just because, that's unfortunately something that has not been like, while it's been normalized more so in K through 12, because these students are really growing up and being more accepting of each other. Once you get to the college level, it's not really something that our instructors have been dealing with before. So now that they're meeting it face to face, they're realizing, oh, I need better methods to sort of touch on this subject in a way that makes my students feel comfortable in my classroom. And so those have really been pushed in the last faculty workshop. And we also had an autistic speaker come and do our keynote for that. So that was exciting to hear somebody speak from that experience. And then in the fall, being on the spectrum myself, like I'm a little worried about the big speaker that we're having come to campus. But we have Temple Grandin on the lineup to come and actually speak to everybody in person and hopefully do some community events with the Galesburg Public Library as well. So that's sort of where our DEI measures have been over the past year or so.
Great, thank you. I see Sonia's adding some information to the chat. Anyone, for anyone who wants that link or some follow-up contact information. So should we flip it on its head? So what challenges are we having, getting some of these initiatives? I'm sure we all have more ideas and a longer wish list than we could possibly tackle. But what are some of the challenges we're having to getting some of this work underway or sustained?
Well, I suspect that one of the challenges we're facing, we just talked about this in a meeting yesterday, is that I don't know. It seems that sometimes DEI initiatives can be demonized, or it's like, seen as something, why are we doing this at the college level and things like that. And I think one of the ways we're in like trying to fight against that is just to understand that this is the United States of America. It takes all kinds. And at the community college level, especially, we need to be bringing people together, no matter what walk of life they come from. I know I'm very passionate about this, being a U.S. Army veteran. Everybody bleeds the same. And as the great Malcolm Nance, who wrote the book "They Want to Kill Americans," It's true. Quite well traveled. Love going to other cultures, but some people are so, they want to be like us so much. Some people hate us and they would really do harm to us. And honestly, Americans, we seem to do harm to ourselves. So one of the biggest challenges is buy-in. I have the sticker I showed you on my door. We all have these different multicolored stickers that say everyone's welcome and all this stuff. Some people will inevitably say, oh, you're one of them, or you're promoting being gay or something like that. And I think the more buy-in we have, the more promotion we need to whittle away at this gross misperception and increase our surface area of acceptance. All right, I promise I'm finished pontificating.
I think the challenge is how to have those conversations with people that do feel threatened. We're in a very rural white area, and we're trying to do outreach to, make people feel welcome and also recruit, more diverse faculty, staff, and students. But the reality is that, we're in a region that's not very diverse. And so it's, I think, a challenge to have open dialogue with the people who do feel threatened and who come to the board meetings saying they want to have oversight over the curriculum. And, I just feel that they feel threatened when they hear talk about, DEI issues. And it's so important to have open dialogue from all sides, because if we're not talking to each other, then we're not going to make any progress. And I struggle with that. So that's, I guess, kind of a question I have is, how can we create a climate where we can talk to each other and be civil and create understanding.
And I think to piggyback off of that as well, I think in any context, follow through has been really difficult. So you can say all you want that you support DEI initiatives. You can write a policy about something, you can write a statement, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like actions are reflecting that. Like we can have, as many faculty workshops as we want to about embracing people on the spectrum. We can have as many about, trans students or non-binary students. But then when we turn around and have issues with faculty and administration using the wrong pronouns for people, like that's a very simple thing that can be changed. But then when they are actively using the wrong ones, that tells me, like, are you doing these things to put them on a sheet of paper to say you've done these things? Or are you actually internalizing this and changing your behavior to reflect that? It's just like when people say that they embrace people on the spectrum, it's really difficult then for anybody, adult, teenager, child, or otherwise, to actually act as if they are on the spectrum. So it's just things like that where a lot of times the messages that are being sent out are not necessarily reflecting the actions and behaviors of the people putting those messages out, unfortunately.
Well, I remember when I was in school as a graduate student, this is when the university started saying we need to start a position that actually promote for diversity. And when the person got hired, they were just every week in a workshop where they invite students to have a talk. There's no limit of how many would join. There is no certain criteria of who would join. the workshop, and they would just sit and talk, and they would come up with what ideas I can help your campus in. So I think more of listening to the student needs is very, very important, because our job is to serve the students in the college or university, but dealing with each other, I think more of like a professional, the professional side of it, it's not as important as how can I make the student feel welcome in a college, and just listen to ideas that would help support them, so they come, they feel welcome to just share what they want. So that was a great way of him to actually just keep meeting. And I think he did like very nice. He invited a speaker. He had some ideas that was shared online, and he would say what was the workshop, what was the result of the workshop as well.
Right. Well, our time is up for today. So thank you so much for joining this conversation. And for those of you who participated, thank you so much. For those who are on the quiet side, we hope you have lots of takeaways, and hopefully that next year when we are in person, we'll recognize some names and faces, and hopefully we can sit around a real lunch table and share more ideas and thoughts. So thank you to everyone who participated in this conference today. It was really nice to get this, the Learning Innovations Conference back up and running after a 2-year hiatus. And we're looking forward to many, many future years with no pandemics or lockdowns, knock on wood, moving forward. So I did put the link to our survey for the session in the chat if you have time to fill that out and give us your feedback. We'd really appreciate it. And let's see, I have a few committee members still in the Zoom room. So thank you again to everyone from the planning committee that helped make this possible today. So have a great rest of your spring semester. Thank you again.